World champion PV Sindhu meets Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The PM calls her India's pride, a champion who has brought home a gold and lots of glory. Sindhu becomes the first Indian to be crowned World Badminton Champion in Switzerland yesterday. The PM visits the residence of former Union Minister late Arun Jaitley, pays tributes to the departed leader and offers his condolences to the bereaved family. Home Minister Amit Shah was also present. India to host 14th conference of her parties of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification between the 2nd and the 13th of September. Union Minister Prakash Javadekar says the government aims to restore 50 lakh hectares of land in the next 10 years. Two terrorists apprehended in a joint operation by security forces in Baramulla. War-like stores recovered. Pakistan violates ceasefire once again. The army gives a befitting reply. In international news, Brazil gives indications of refusing the G7 aid to fight Amazon forest fires. Foreign Minister Ernesto Araujo says international mechanisms are already in place to fight deforestation. No new initiative needed. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro accuses France of treating Brazil like a colony. And Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says there will be no talks with the US unless sanctions are lifted. US President Donald Trump had expressed readiness to meet Rouhani yesterday to resolve differences on nuclear issue if circumstances permit. Namaskar, you're watching the latest right here on DD News. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, after becoming the first Indian shuttler to clinch a gold medal at the Badminton World Championships, ace Indian badminton player PV Sindhu and her coach Purella Gopichand returned home. Sindhu and Gopichand, who have brought several laurels for the country, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Prime Minister congratulated Sindhu and wished her the very best for her future endeavours. And earlier, Sindhu met Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Kiren Rijiju. Sports Minister described the success achieved by Sindhu as a moment of pride for the country. And he conveyed his best wishes to her in pursuit to bring more laurels to India. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the residence of Arun Jaitley to pay tributes to him and condole his bereaved family members as well. Union Home Minister Amit Shah was also present at the residence of late Arun Jaitley. He too met Jaitley's family members. Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Prakash Javadekar addressed the media today at the curtain raiser press conference of the UN Convention to Combat Desertification in the national capital. Briefing the media, the minister said that the UN Convention meet will be held in New Delhi from the 2nd to the 13th of September, which will see participation of over 3,000 representatives from over 200 countries.
India is hosting this wonderful COP14, and we will have assumed the presidency during this, and India will be playing a lead role in combating desertification. For next 2 years, we will be the president, and we will move the world in the right direction by taking cooperation of all countries. More than 200 countries are coming. They have confirmed their participation. More than 3,000 delegates have confirmed, nearly 100 ministers are coming, 94 have confirmed, and all the UN officials will be there.
The Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister also said that the Conference of Parties will focus on desertification and degradation of land, while adding that 50 lakh hectares of degraded land will be made fertile in the next 10 years in the country.
We have taken a target, as our ministry has taken a target to restore 50 lakh hectares of land by 2030. So from degraded land, we will convert into a fertile land. So that is our main target, and we are also establishing one center of excellence in Dehradun to help the world to gear up the research and start learning from each other and making progress to combat desertification. So that will be our thing, and whatever be the New Delhi declaration will be there. That is the common resolve of the world. And that resolve, we will also take it forward and make an effort, positive effort, to ensure that the world also follows what Delhi decides.
So the biggest gathering to combat climate change is set to unfold in the national capital for 10 days, starting the 2nd of September. Now, the Delhi and District Cricket Association has decided to rename Firozshah Kotla Stadium as Arun Jaitley Stadium in the memory of its former president. DDCA President Rajat Sharma has said that it was Arun Jaitley's support and encouragement that players like Virat Kohli, Virendra Sehwag, Gautam Gambhir, Ashish Nehra, Rishabh Pant and many others could make India proud. The renaming will take place on the 12th of September at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in the presence of Home Minister Amit Shah and Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju. And that's quite a formidable decision that has been taken by the DDCA. Mukesh Shukla, my colleague and our sports correspondent, joining me on the phone line. Mukesh, just tell us, what does this really mean in terms of how this could change the face of cricket, not just in the country and also perhaps in the national capital? Mukesh, can you hear me? Mukesh, could you tell us how this decision to rename Firozshah Kotla to the Arun Jaitley Stadium, how did this decision come about? Well, it seems we're having trouble getting in touch with Mukesh Shukla at present. We'll try and reconnect in a bit. We're moving on for the time being. Normalcy is gradually returning to the valley after the abrogation of Article 370. The situation in Jammu and Kashmir continues to be peaceful, with the people continuing with their normal routines. Movement of private vehicles in the city has improved and restrictions have also been lifted from most areas. But security forces are still deployed to avoid any untoward incident. The administration is keeping the supply chains replenished. Most phone lines are operational. People continue to repose their trust in the administration as development work picks up pace. Also in Jammu and Kashmir, heavy ceasefire violation has taken place in 2 locations in Poonch yesterday. The army retaliated to the heavy firing by Pakistan. In general area of Delina Chowk, 1 terrorist was apprehended after the joint checkpost manned by Jammu and Kashmir police and army drew fire from a truck. The second terrorist had entered nearby Mohalla locality. Search operations have been underway. 1 AK-47, 1 pistol have also been recovered. 53 Battalion of CRPF and J&K police conducted a joint operation and apprehended 2 terrorists in Baramulla as well. Warlike stores have been recovered. Okay, we're taking you back, in fact, Not right now, but moving on for the time being. The 7th National Community Radio Sammelan was organized at Ambedkar International Centre in New Delhi. Information and Broadcasting Secretary Amit Khare released a film to mark the occasion. Addressing the gathering, he stressed that community radio is very effective in dealing with local problems as it disseminates information in the native language.
Community radios have done wonders, particularly at the time of some difficulty like the disaster in, say, Orissa or in the floods in the coastal areas, where because of shortage of electric supply or disruption of communication, the only way to communicate or to warn people or to request them to evacuate is through the community radio system. The beauty of the community radio system lies that each community can identify their own issues and prioritize their own issues and work in a way that the local communities get empowered by their own local people.
Home Minister Amit Shah held a high-level meeting in the Ministry of Home Affairs in New Delhi today to review the situation in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Home Secretary A.K. Bhalla attended the meeting. Now, while addressing the Vijay Sankalp Samvad in Ambala region of Haryana, Bharatiya Janata Party working president J.P. Nadda emphasized on strengthening each booth. Nadda further added that the party workers have to take the vision of the government among the people and highlight the beneficial schemes launched by the BJP, that is the NDA government at the state, in fact, BJP governments at the state and central levels.
आपके पास नेता भी है, नियत भी है, नीति भी है, कार्यक्रम भी है और कार्यकर्ता आप जैसे कार्यकर्ता भी है। आप आगे बढ़ें, बूथ को संभालें, बूथ की हर बारीकियों पर काम करें। इस वातावरण को हमको परिवर्तन करना है अपने वोट में। इस वातावरण को हमको परिवर्तन करना है अपने ईवीएम मशीन में और उसके लिए आपको एक-एक वोट पर, एक-एक मोहल्ले में, एक-एक गली में, एक-एक मकान तक पहुंचकर मोदी जी का संदेश, मनोहर लाल खट्टर जी का संदेश, हमारे नेताओं का संदेश आपको पहुंचाना होगा और उसको पहुंचा करके यशस्वी बन करके भारतीय जनता पार्टी को जीत हासिल दिलानी है।
Union Minister Nitin Gadkari today attended a business summit on Khadi on the theme Globalizing Brand Khadi, the Pride of India. The summit was organized jointly by CII and Khadi and British Industries Commission. Various companies of textile, apparel, e-commerce along with retailers and designers also attended that summit. On the occasion, the Union Minister said that Khadi is associated with Gandhiji's vision of creating Swadeshi products. To make it a global trend, we must think beyond the traditional weaving and create more designs by modernizing Khadi with latest technology.
खादी जो है वो गांधी जी के विचारधारा का और स्वदेशी के विचारधारा का आत्मा है और पहले जैसे मैंने कहा कि मैं इस बात से बिल्कुल सहमत नहीं हूँ कि खादी के प्रिंसिपल के साथ कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ न करते हुए खादी को मॉडर्नाइज करना, उसको आधुनिक करना, डिज़ाइनिंग में, वीविंग में, सभी टेक्नोलॉजी में, फैशन डिज़ाइनिंग, प्रोडक्ट डिज़ाइनिंग, ये करना चाहिए।
Union Anvi and Environment and Forest Minister Prakash Javadekar inaugurated a toy bank at a municipal school in South Delhi this morning. Speaking on the occasion, the minister lauded the toy bank to be beneficial for the students as it will make learning fun and bring joy to the children studying at the school.
मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि मुझे लगता था केवल दिल्ली शहर में खिलौने इकट्ठा करते हैं और बच्चों को खेलने के लिए देते हैं, लेकिन जब मैंने सुना और देखा कि देश भर में 5000 जगह इस तरह के टॉय बैंक प्रस्तावित किए हैं, मैं बहुत बहुत आपको बधाई देना चाहता हूं क्योंकि ये सही काम है। अब दुनिया बदल गई, बहुत अच्छे खिलौने आए और अच्छे खिलौने आए लेकिन उसकी कीमतें भी बढ़ी। तो वो जो मैं नहीं उपयोग कर रहा हूं वो किसी दूसरे के काम आए, ये देने का भाव और वही भाव एक सामाजिक भाव पैदा करता है। इसके लिए भी आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
Union Urban Development Minister Hardeep Singh Puri addressed the 15th conference of CBRE in New Delhi. He said that the economy has to grow around 7% and we have to make transition from being $2.8 trillion economy to $5 trillion by 2024 and $10 trillion by 2029. He also said that private sector will play an important role in the progress of economic sector in the future.
If the economy has to grow, continue to grow at around 7%, and we have to make the transition from being a $2.8 trillion economy to a $5 trillion economy by 2024 and to a $10 trillion economy by 2029 or 30, the private sector has to play a crucial and a very important role.
Ladakh is observing Martyrs' Day today, the first after the Union government announced the Union territory status for Ladakh on the 5th of this month. Nabang Dorje and Stobdan were killed in police firing during the agitation for Union territory for Ladakh in 1989 on this very day. People from almost every village of Leh district have participated despite curfew on this day in 1989 in the agitation. Students from different education institutions have gathered at Chokang Vihara, the Ladakh Buddhist Association head office. They proceeded to Martyrs Park in Leh Srinagar Highway with prayers and slogans. The commemorative meeting at Martyrs Park is attended by all religious leaders and political parties. Speakers thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah for fulfilling the 70-year-old demand of the Ladakhi people. In a tragic incident, at least 16 people have been killed after a truck overturned on two tempos in Shahjahanpur district in Uttar Pradesh. 5 others were also injured in the incident. DM and SP have reached the accident site. Rescue operations are being carried out and the injured have been shifted to nearby hospitals. In Kerala, the Kottayam court awarded double life imprisonment to the 10 people for the honour killing of a 23-year-old Dalit Christian man, Kevin P. Joseph, last year, which had triggered widespread protests across the state. All the 10 accused who were found guilty under various sections of the Indian Penal Code have been awarded double life term in the case. 3 people, including prime accused Siani Chako, Kevin's brother-in-law, were also convicted under IPC section 120B for criminal conspiracy. International news now. In Brazil has given indications of refusing G7 aid to fight the Amazon forest fires. Foreign Minister Ernesto Arvado has said that a new initiative is not needed because international mechanisms are in place to fight deforestation. A record number of fires are burning in Brazil, mostly in the Amazon region, according to the country's space research agency, INPE. French President Macron last week described the fires as an international crisis. Meanwhile, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro has accused France of treating Brazil like a colony. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani has told the United States to take the first step by lifting all sanctions against Iran a day after US President Donald Trump said he was open to meeting with him. He said the key for positive change is in the hands of Washington because Iran had already ruled out ever doing what worries the US the most, building an atomic bomb. Khamenei is said to have issued a fatwa against nuclear weapons in 2003 and has reiterated it several times since. The US unilaterally pulled out of a 2015 multilateral nuclear deal in May last year and subsequently reimposed biting sanctions. Earlier, US President Donald Trump said he was prepared to meet his Iranian counterpart Hassan Rouhani in the next few weeks after talks over Tehran's nuclear program at a G7 summit in France. Johnson & Johnson has been found liable for fueling an opioid epidemic in Oklahoma by deceptively marketing painkillers. The drug maker has been ordered to pay damages of $572 million, which will be used to address the epidemic for the next 30 years through addiction treatment and prevention programs. Johnson & Johnson has, however, denied wrongdoing, saying Its marketing claims had scientific support and that its two painkillers accounted for a tiny fraction of opioids prescribed in Oklahoma. It said that it would appeal this verdict. The case, brought by Oklahoma Attorney General, was the first to go to trial out of thousands of lawsuits filed by state and local governments against opioid manufacturers and distributors. Romelu Lukaku scored on his Serie A debut for Inter Milan as they convincingly beat 10-man Lecce. The Belgian striker, signed by Inter for a club record €80 million or £74 million from Manchester United on the 8th of August, tapped in the third goal in the 60th minute. Marcelo Brozovic curled Inter's opener and Stefano Sensi's drive made it 2-0. Antonio Candreva's 30-yard drive completed the victory after Lecce's Diego Farias had been sent off for a nasty-looking challenge. Lukaku, who hit 42 goals in 96 games for United after joining from Everton for £75 million in July 2017, has now scored on his league debut for each of his past 4 clubs. Inter boss Antonio Conte, who replaced Luciano Spalletti in May, had identified Lukaku as a key summer target and was pleased with the star signing. Sumit Nagal making his debut in the main draw at the US Open showed no nerves as he faced Roger Federer in the night session of the final Grand Slam of the year. Sumit matched Roger on the big stage in the night session at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in a match televised all over the world. Nagal showed he had a no-holds-barred game as he broke Federer twice in the first set to pocket it 6-4. He showed calm and composure, pocketing the first set in just 40 minutes. The 22-year-old Indian staged a sensational fight back to qualify for his first ever Grand Slam debut. And India's top-ranked men's singles player Prajesh Gureshwaran was knocked out in the first round of the US Open 2019. This happened Monday. World number 88 Prajnesh lost in straight sets 4-6, 1-6, 2-6 to world number 5 Daniil Medvedev of Russia at the Lance Armstrong Stadium in New York. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana is an initiative by the Government of India that aims to provide affordable housing to the urban poor with a target of building 2 crore affordable homes by the 31st of March 2022. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has become a major respite for the people of Giridih in Jharkhand. Take a look at the special report.
For 7 decades, Badri Sahu lived in a hut because of financial crisis. Be it the scorching sun or harsh dry winter or monsoon fury, Sahu had no option but to stay in this uncomfortable hut. Throughout his life, Badri dreamt of a comfortable house. All thanks to Modi government, it's a dream come true for the 74-year-old Badri Sahu today. He is finally living in his dream house in Diwan Tola of Giridih district. He was provided a well-structured house under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. He also renovated his house with his lifelong savings, and today this is the most beautiful house of the district.
बरसात के दिन में बाल बच्चा परिवार लेके रहने बहुत दिक्कत होता था, पानी छूटा था और आमदनी नहीं था, गरीबी था। इस वजह से न घर बना सके न और कुछ कर नहीं सक रहे थे। जब से मोदी सरकार हमारे आए हैं, मोदी सरकार के द्वारा हमको मकान मिला है बनाने का और अभी हम बहुत खुश हैं। मोदी सरकार को हम धन्यवाद देते हैं।
Sahu's family is now leading a happy and comfortable life. Badri Sahu's daughter-in-law shared her experience and it was all praise for Prime Minister Modi.
पहले वही खपड़ा घर में रहते थे, उसके बाद फिर पानी खपड़ा घर में सोचते थे कभी बना पाएंगे या कि नहीं बना पाएंगे। वही सोचते थे पानी चूता था, रात को सोते थे तो उठ के गमला छानते थे, गमला छानो कटोरा छानो तो प्लास्टिक झापो इसके पास आता था तो इधर चढ़ के छानी पर चढ़ के मैंने झापने उठने लगता था कि पानी चू रहा है। ये जो कि किचा जाता था कभी कभी तो कि कैसे क्या करेंगे, कैसे भी करेंगे। और जब मोदी हमको दिया तो हम लोग फिर घर अपने बनाए।
The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has proved to be a sigh of relief not only for Badri Sahu but many like him, and they're all thanking Prime Minister Modi for this great initiative. Ramesh Prabhakar with Divakar Kumar from Giridih for DD News.
And that's all we have for the moment in this edition of the news, but the latest continues right here on DD News. Stay tuned.